Question 112 of the Summa Theologia has to do with the mission of the angels. What are they doing, and are they being sent down to earth to assist us, or what exactly is their role as far as their mission, right? And there are 4 articles in this question, and we are continuing the treatise on the conservation and government of creatures, which goes until 119, and then we will be finished with prima pars of the Summa Theologia. The next segment, by the way, of the Summa Theologia is called Prima Secunda, and so that's got a lot of great questions in it as well. Whether the angels are sent on works of ministry, are they sent to do things? Thomas says it may be shown from what has been said before that some angels are sent in ministry by God. Okay, so not all of them, but some of them are. For as we have already stated, in treating of the mission of the divine persons, he is said to be sent who in any way proceeds from another so as to begin to be where he was not, or to be in another way where he already was. Okay, so just that's kind of obvious. If you're somewhere where you weren't before, then you were sent, right? Thus, the Son or the Holy Ghost is said to be sent as proceeding from the Father by origin, and begins to be in a new way by grace or by the nature assumed where he was before by the presence of his Godhead. For it belongs to God to be present everywhere, because since he is the universal agent, his power reaches to all being, and hence he exists in all things. Now that goes all the way back to question number 8, and so that goes pretty far back. And of course, we had a whole treatise on the Blessed Trinity, and that should be reviewed. If you've watched that section of these videos, you know that we've already talked about that, about who can be sent, who can't be sent, and that kind of thing. And what Thomas is going to do here is compare the Blessed Trinity to the angels in regard to ministry and being sent. He says, an angel's power, however, as a particular agent, does not reach to the whole universe, but reaches to one thing in such a way as not to reach another. And so he is here in such a manner as not to be there. But it is clear from what was said above that the corporeal creature is governed by the angels. Hence, whenever an angel has to perform any work concerning a corporeal creature, the angel applies himself anew to that body by his power, and in that way begins to be there afresh. Now, all this takes place by divine command. Hence, it follows that an angel is sent by God. So angels are not infinite, and so they can't be everywhere at one time like God is. And so when they're sent to a particular place at a particular time, and not just eternally or infinitely like God would be in his Godhead. Yet the action performed by the angel who is sent proceeds from God as from its first principle, at whose nod and by whose authority the angels work, and is reduced to God as to its last end. So Thomas is always going to conclude that nothing really happens outside the providence of God, and so even with the sending of the angels and the mission and the ministry that they do, it's all under God's command and the universal cause, as we talked about. Now, this is what is meant by a minister, for a minister is an intelligent instrument, while an instrument is moved by another, and its action is ordered to another. Hence, angels' actions are called ministries. For this reason, they are said to be sent in ministries. So we do ministries. We don't, we're not instruments, so to speak. You never hear anybody describe their work as an instrument necessarily. It's more like a ministry, because we are intelligent agents, right? Article 2, whether all the angels are sent in ministry. Are all of them sent? And Thomas is going to say, no, not all of them. As appears from what has been said above, the order of divine providence has so disposed not only among the angels, but also the whole universe, that inferior things are administered by the superior. But the divine dispensation, however, this order is sometimes departed from as regards corporeal things for the sake of a higher order, that is, according as it is suitable for the manifestation of grace. That the man born blind was enlightened, that Lazarus was raised from the dead, was accomplished immediately by God without the action of the heavenly bodies. Moreover, both good and bad angels can work some effect in these bodies independently of the heavenly bodies by the condensation of the clouds to rain and by producing some effects. So everything is going to go back to God ultimately, but the angels are allowed, only with God's permission, to carry out some of these acts of ministry, but again, always only with God's permission. Nor can anyone doubt that God can immediately reveal things to men without the help of the angels, and the superior angels without the inferior. From this standpoint, some have said that according to the general law, the superior angels are not sent, but only the inferior, yet that sometimes by divine dispensation, the superior angels are also sent. And so it's the lower orders of the angels that are sent in a ministry. It may also be said that the apostle wishes to prove that Christ is greater than the angels who were chosen as the messengers of the law, in order that he might show the excellence of the new order, the new over the old law. Hence, there is no need to apply this to any other angels besides those who were sent to give the law, which is interesting, that last paragraph, because he's referring to the Apostle Paul, and so clearly there's some reference to perhaps one of the objections, because normally in the corpus it's standalone and there isn't any reference to the objections, but this is one of those exceptions. Whether all the angels who are sent assist. Now, this is kind of an odd phrased question. What does it mean to assist as opposed to, be sent? Thomas will hopefully clear that up. He says the angels are spoken of as assisting and administering, after the likeness of those who attend upon a king. So he gives it a good human example here. Some of whom ever wait upon him and hear his commands immediately, while others there are to whom the royal commands are conveyed by those who are in attendance. For instance, those who are placed at the head of the administration of various cities, these are said to administer and not to assist, right? So again, a human example there. We must thereby observe that all the angels gaze upon the divine essence immediately, in regard to which all, even those who minister, are said to assist. Hence Gregory says that those who are sent on the external ministry of our salvation can always assist and see the face of the Father. Okay, even the lowest of the orders, the angels, right? Yet not all the angels can perceive the secrets of the divine mysteries in the clearness itself of the divine essence, but only the superior angels who announce them to the inferior, and in that respect only the superior angels belonging to the highest hierarchy are said to assist. Okay, so he's making a distinction here, whose special prerogative it is to be enlightened immediately by God. All right, so not all the angels are doing the same thing, and not all of them are sent, and they have different responsibilities. In fact, in one place in the Summa, I think Thomas says that every single particular angel has a different ministry, okay, although they are kind of ordered into these 9 choirs or orders, I think more for our good than for theirs. Article 4, the last article, whether all the angels of the second hierarchy are sent. Now, there's 3 hierarchies of 3 angels, and Thomas in a previous article had explained how there is a difference in opinion between Gregory and Dionysius. Those are the 2 that wrote most about the angels. The first and the third orders are pretty similar, but it's that middle hierarchy that is kind of in question, and that is, somewhere here I have listed the hierarchies according to, so Gregory and Dionysius agree on the first 3. It's seraphim, cherubim, and thrones. Okay, that's set. But Gregory says the next one is dominations, principalities, and powers, whereas Dionysius says it's dominations, virtues, and powers. And then Gregory says the final ones are virtues, archangels, and angels. Dionysius says principalities, archangels, and angels. And so that's why Thomas here is kind of zeroing in on this middle hierarchy, because it's not in agreement between those 2 who wrote a lot about the angels, right? As above stated, to be sent to external ministry properly belongs to an angel according as he acts by divine command in respect of any corporeal creature, which is part of the execution of divine ministry. Now, the angelic properties are manifested by their names, as Dionysius says, and therefore the angels of those orders are sent to external ministry whose names signify some kind of administration. But the name dominations does not signify any such administration, but only disposition and command in administering. On the other hand, the names of the inferior orders imply administration, for the angels and archangels are so called from announcing, and the virtues and powers are so called in respect of some act. And it is right that the prince, according to what Gregory says, be first among the workers. Hence it belongs to these 5 orders to be sent to external ministry, not to the 4 superior orders. Okay, so there are 9. The bottom 5, angels, archangels, virtues, powers, and principalities, would be the 5 that are sent, and then the top 4, which are going to be the cherubim, the seraphim, the thrones, and then depending on which designation you accept. Okay, so dominations, okay, are going to be the 4 that are not sent. Okay, so Gregory and Dionysius did agree on that. The top 4, there's agreement. The bottom 2, there's agreement, but it's just those other 3 that, or actually so it's 4, 5, 6, yeah, the other 3 are the ones that are in question. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. All right, so that's question 112 of the Summa, the mission of the angels. I hope that cleared up a little bit of questions you might have had about what exactly the angels do and which of the orders do what and that kind of thing. So it's very interesting. And we will move on to question 113 tomorrow in the Summa. God bless you. Thanks for watching. St. Thomas Aquinas, pray for us.